Hello, this is T West, and welcome to AfroSynergy.
What are we witnessing? We are witnessing a collapse of the so-called revolutionary forces in Libya, of the so-called rebels in Libya. This commentary will be about an article from Press TV entitled, "NATO Should Cut Gaddafi's Arms Supply." This is a very revealing article, and it tells us a lot about the degrading of NATO's effort in Libya. The main disadvantage to the NATO air campaign is that NATO, are not paying attention to the Algerian border, which is supplying Gaddafi's forces with arms. Those are the words of Colonel Ahmed al-Hassi, who is the first commander to defect from the Gaddafi military. He told Press TV this recently in an interview. He also stated, "The border with Chad, if NATO covered this area, Gaddafi would have no supplies and his war would end very soon." Well, now this Arab want to extend the killing by NATO into other areas of Africa, into Chad, and into Algeria. This is absolutely crazy. In fact, it's suicidal for the United States to be involved and engaged any further in this. Perhaps they should listen a little bit more now to Anna Marie Slaughter, who in February was all for this military action against the government of Libya. But now she's stepping away from this position. The Press TV article went on to read, NATO launched a major air campaign against the forces of the Libyan regime in mid-March, saying the United Nations Security Council Resolution 1973 gave the military bloc a mandate to, quote, protect the Libyan population, close quote. Well, they're actually killing the Libyan people. They are bombing media locations merely because the journalists are reporting all of the support across Libya for the Libyan government, on behalf of the Libyan government. They're showing how much the Libyan people are supporting their own government and not projecting or showing what NATO or the rebel forces want them to show. Now, we have the New York Times for NATO. We have Al Jazeera for NATO. And we have all the other Western media who are promoting the propaganda of NATO and of the rebels. And of course, the rebels have their own propaganda machines headquartered out of Benghazi. NATO has recently intensified its attacks on Libya in an alleged attempt to increase pressure on the embattled Libyan ruler. The attacks by the United States-led military alliance has nevertheless killed scores of civilians and wounded many others in key Libyan cities. Now, in the past especially, Press TV would often say, erroneously, that the Libyan forces, the Libyan military, has killed thousands of Libyan civilians. They aren't saying that in this article. And that is good because it was untrue. We have the killing of General Yunus by the Libyan so-called rebel or revolutionary forces within Libya, which they tried to blame on Gaddafi forces. But these were the same rebel forces who killed General Yunus. So we have infighting among them. But that has not stopped them from trying to turn that around and say that it was Gaddafi's forces who killed General Yunus. They have even provided so-called evidence indicating that the place that they invaded recently and killed several of these forces who supposedly had killed General Yunus, that these people had pictures of Muammar Gaddafi and they had the green flag. This is something that John McCain and others, the French and the British, have told the Libyan rebels to handle this and handle it quickly, so that things would not degrade any further after the assassination of Colonel Yunus and two of his colonels. And as I said, it is getting worse for NATO in Libya. There was also the headline that indicated the United States dragged Italy into the war in Libya. The report had indicated, what choice did I have considering America's pressure, President George Napolitano's stance, and the Parliament's decision? The July 30th edition of the Italian daily Corriere della Sera quoted Berlusconi as saying, what choice did I have considering America's pressure? So you have some strong-arming that is going on, that is happening. And we know Germany was also strong-armed as well. We saw first the so-called food poisoning, the E. coli threat, supposedly coming from food from Germany. But at first, it said that the food came from Spain. So that hurt Germany publicly. So what did Germany do? Germany quickly, its chancellor quickly flew to Washington, D.C. and met with President Obama. And right after that, you heard more about Germany stepping up its effort to help in the war situation in Libya, especially financially. And recently, we get word that Germany has now expelled its Libyan diplomats. But I have news for all of the members of NATO. Your efforts in Libya are going to fail. And if you think you're going to go in and start killing civilians in Chad, in Algeria, just because one of the Arab leaders in Libya, one of the rebel leaders, indicated that if you want to defeat Gaddafi, you need to stop the arms from coming in from Chad and Algeria. If you think you're going to be able to just go in and just bomb and kill Africans with impunity, you're mistaken. You're financially bankrupt. You're in debt in a tremendous way. You will never win. All these wars are costing you trillions of dollars, and you're going to go even further into bankruptcy. So what is the answer? Go home.